Hey everyone, how's it going? Tekno Tiger here, and I hope you're doing well. Today I'll be bringing you guys another Warframe guide, and this time it's going to be on taking down the Teralyst in the Plains of Eidolon. That's right, so in this video I'll be telling you guys everything you need to know about taking down the Teralyst themselves. Then I'll be going over the standing associated with the Teralyst, and lastly I'll be going over all the different rewards you can expect to get from the standing you'll have for taking down the Teralyst. So now, without further ado, let's jump into the guide. Hey everyone, so I'm going to jump right into the guide on how to take down the Teralyst himself, the exact method that you're going to need to use, and then I'll go over a few different tips and kind of the strategies that I found that work extremely well. And so, first off, the Teralyst, let me tell you a little bit about him. He only spawns at night in the Plains of Eidolon. As you can see here, he's about 3 stories tall, and this I did with a pug group. So I would definitely suggest going with a group of friends or clansmates or people that you already know this is what you're going to do. I just happened to get lucky and these guys were like, hey, you want to take down the Teralyst? And they were a pretty good group, as you can see here. And so you're going to need to take down his joints. He does spawn this massive guy and he takes no damage except for his joints. As you can see here, he has 2 on his legs, 1 for each, and 2 on his arms, 1 for each. And you're going to have to take down the shields initially of each part, hopefully so you guys all organize and say you're going to take down one certain piece, and that's what we did here. We did right leg, then left leg. And so on the left leg here, you're going to want to take down the shields as your operator. That's the only way to take down the shields, and once the shields are gone, you can take them down with whatever weapon you have. Opticores, Tigresses, and snipers all seem to be extremely dominant in this position here. And so that's what I'm using here, the Tigress. And so once you do take down the shields, you're going to have to explode and take down that joint all the way down to 0 health, and it should explode. When it does explode, he'll erupt with a bunch of different abilities, so you're going to want to take cover in maybe void form or get away from him or something, get in a shield, I don't know. But get away from him because he's going to do a ton of AoE damage to everyone when the joint does erupt. But do not run too far, because when each joint erupts, so 4 times, he will drop an exceptional sentient core. These are the ones worth 500 standing, so you're going to want to be close enough that you can pick that up. You cannot use Carrier's Vacuum to pick it up. That does not work on any of the cores, and so you're going to have to go over to where you initially took him down. See the joint here? You're going to have to run over that position and get the reward. Now, after you take down 2 of his joints, he's going to teleport away, and when you take down his 3rd joint, he's going to teleport away yet again, and you're going to have to go track him down. This is where Sky Wings come in handy. And so that is how you take down his 4 joints. You're going to have to do that in that order, all 4, before you can get to the next part. So for the next part is actually killing him. Now, you're just going to have to pretty much take him down like normal. Here I'll jump into a clip so you guys can see the end of the fight, where we're pretty much a race against time at this point, where we are taking down the Eidolon as the sun is coming up. So you have to take him down during night. Once the sun does come up, he'll try to retreat towards the water, and if he makes it there, he pretty much despawns and you're out of luck. Unfortunately, you just get the 4 exceptional cores, and you know, you're out of luck. Maybe try next time or take him down faster. And that's why I would suggest higher damage weapons and Warframes. So, like I said, you're going to want to take them down with the highest weapon or highest damage weapons you can find. So a few tips here that I found work extremely well for weapons is, like I said, Opticore, well-modded Opticores, well-modded shotguns, so the Tigress Prime, maybe the Vacor Heck would be a good option. Snipers, so Vectis, Volker Wraith, all of these, if they're well-modded, can be extremely useful. And this is why the Lex Prime, as well as the Aklex and the Pandero for secondaries, all these secondaries have seen a lot of limelight recently because they do work well against the Teralyst. So all of these weapons, of course, with the asterisks next to all of them, well modded of these weapons will take down the Teralyst fairly easily. But again, that's because I say that with an asterisk because this guy is not a joke. The Teralyst does take a long time to take down. It took me about 30 minutes to take down with this random group. You could get it down much faster if you guys all knew what you're doing and were coordinating on like Discord or something like that. But this is a long fight, it is a difficult fight, so if you can bring as much ammo as possible. At one point I was taking down the little Volmus just so I could get a couple ammo packs because I was running out hardcore, especially since my carrier was dead nearly the whole time. You couldn't vacuum up any extra ammo. So with that in mind, that's why shotguns and snipers are pretty ideal, because they are effective per shot basis. So I'd recommend something like that. Melee doesn't seem to be too effective against him, although I didn't try, to be honest, so maybe melee is the way to go. Tell me if you've had a different experience and what weapons you found to be most effective against the Teralyst. Now that we're done with talking about weapons, I'm going to go quickly over all of the different Warframes that I think will work, and ones that I think might not work as well. So you see here I am using Rhino Prime. I think this was a really good choice. I kind of brought him in hopes that everyone here would, be down for taking down a Teralyst, or at least tempting. And so here I built him for a max strength Rhino shield build. So I'm using his Rhino shield so that I can take as much damage and get as brutalized as possible. And mostly so I can be a team player, because I want to be able to get up my teammates. As you can see, they got down quite a bit here, and I can run over and pick them up. So anyone that you think can run over and pick people up is really good. But really, it doesn't seem like any Warframe is significantly better than others, except for Chroma, really. Because if you don't know, Chroma and actually Harrow would be extremely good here. They are extremely good here. I've seen it. They're incredible because they can put out a ton of damage. Harrow with their attack speed buff and a crit chance buff, and Vex armor on the Chroma. Vex armor on the Chroma makes it so the Opticore, and actually any weapon they use, hits extremely hard. That's why you saw in the intro video, pretty much we had been trying to take down the Eidolon for a little bit of time already, and a Vex armored Opticore was able to shut down the Eidolon from about 30% health by itself nearly. So Chroma, incredibly good. But besides Chroma and Harrow for damage, I think Rhino is a solid choice if you're looking to live longer. And yeah, as far as that, any Warframe that you have well modded that you think can survive quite a bit of damage, because even though my shields on my Rhino were about 4,000 extra health worth, I was still getting taken down, I think, once, and it was constantly having to put up my armor. Like, pretty much every time that I got back out of operator form into my Warframe, I had to put on the armor again. So make sure to keep that in mind. You don't want to die. That's the key here. Do not die, because five different deaths and you're out of it. You don't want that. You want to be able to keep going in operator form and taking them down. So, last tip is operator form. I want to quickly go over a little strategy I like to use here. As you can see, he does shoot an artillery barrage into the sky, especially if you've already broken 3 or 4 parts. It's going to be near constant artillery barrage from the sky down onto you. He does do 2 different stomps that one creates a wave and pushes you back, the other one creates a wave and does a tremendous amount of damage. For all 3 of these abilities, the stomp, the other stomp, as well as all the different artilleries, you're going to want to go into void form. And he does do a special yelling ability that creates giant shock waves when you do break certain parts of his body. So pretty much any time you see damage happening or big abilities happening from the Teralyst, go into void form. So you're going to have to manage your energy and manage your health, because you don't want to be out of operator form too long. You want to maximize the amount of damage you can do. So once you're in operator form, try not to get knocked out so that you're not, constantly getting down. Because when you do get knocked out of operator form from damage, the shields on your Warframe go to 0 and make you vulnerable to getting taken down. So I know that's kind of wordy, but that is a lot of tips to go over. This is a boss fight. I mean, this is the hardest boss fight in the game that I've done so far, and so that's a lot of tips because there's a lot of different mechanics and different things to talk about in this fight. So now that we're all done with that, I'll go over in the next part all the different things you can get from standing, as well as the different standing turn-ins themselves, so all the different cores. So I hope you guys got some useful information out of this. I try not to be super long-winded, but like I said, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So if you guys have any tips for anyone else, leave them down in the comments, or any questions that you felt I wasn't clear about, leave them down in the comments. I do read them all. So thanks for sticking around, guys, and I'll see you in the next part. Hey, welcome everyone to Kindest. I hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay and it might have helped you out a lot. I did have a lot of tips in there, so hopefully something was useful. And I know you've definitely seen this picture before where there's a bunch of Tenno and Kanzu behind me, but this is for some of our newer players, newer viewers, as well as the newest Tenno here, so they know exactly how to get to the quill standing vendor, so we're on the same page. So with Kanzu in the back right, keep that in mind. Instead of going back to the right towards him, we're going back to the left towards this back path. Now you are going to have done the War Within as well as Saya's Vigil, both of those quest lines, in order to get into here, because you are going to have to be able to go into operator form to open this blue glowing door. So let's pop into operator form, and you'll find Saya's long lost love, Quill Anko. Now this is the standing vendor here. And of course, like every other faction vendor, he does have your title progression here where you can check everything out, as well as all of his offerings and all the wares that he can sell you. Now before that, let's go over a couple of his other stuff and then we'll look at the rewards last. So, sentient cores. We quickly went over this while I was talking about the Teralyst. Intact sentient cores you get from killing the Volmist spirits in operator form. The exceptional sentient cores you get by breaking the joints on the Teralyst. You get 1 per joint, so it should be 4 if you kill the Teralyst. And flawless sentient cores. Now let me quickly go over this and tell you guys exactly how I believe you get these flawless sentient cores. And so you're going to need Eidolon lures. Eidolon lures you can get from many of the Grineer camps at night, and when you get them you hack it, and then you have to fill up these Eidolon lures with the souls of the Volmist. I think it's about 2 or 3 souls per lure. And this is the part where I'm not entirely sure, is some people say you need 2 full lures and some people say you need 4 full lures in order to get a chance at the flawless sentient core. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think anyone from DE has officially put out anything saying you need one thing or another. If they have, or if you guys know in your experience which has worked for you, please put it down in the comments so everyone knows exactly what they need in order to get the flawless sentient core. So either way, this is a rare drop chance off of a Teralyst once you kill it. You have to have had those lures near you when you kill the sentient, or when you kill the Eidolon, excuse me, and then there's a chance to drop a flawless sentient core. So you will get the majority of your standing from the sentient cores and the exceptional sentient cores that drop off of the boss fight and the Volmist. So now that you know all that, there is still this daily standing limit. It's going to be 1,000 times your mastery rank plus 1,000. So that's how you get your standing, and that's for each and every different faction. Along with that, he does offer an amp assembly. This is exactly like if you've ever talked to Hawk in the village, or making Zaws, exact same way. You get the Prism, Scaffold, and Brace blueprint. You get 1 for free from leveling up, or leveling up your title rather, with the quills, and the other 2 you have to buy for standing, and then you can make it with items from the planes themselves. And you are going to have increased standing with the Ostron in order to make certain materials to make the blueprints for the amp. Now, that's exactly what that means, is you're going to want to upgrade your Ostron standing along with your quill standing in a similar order so that you are able to craft the amps when you do unlock them. And other services, we'll quickly go over this. It's exactly like the Zaw vendor, like I said. You can rename your amp, sell your amp because you do need to buy amp space just like a weapon or a Warframe. And then you can guild and enhance your amp with extra mods, and I believe Forma. I'm not entirely sure on the Forma, I haven't done it personally, so tell me if you guys know about that. Now we're going to get into the last part of the video, which is all of the different stuff you can buy, and the whole reason we're taking down the Eidolon, the Teralyst. So once you come in here, you can look at his offerings. And once you are the first rank, like I said, he'll give you an option to buy for free to get 1 of these 5 items. Now you're going to need all 3 to make a new amp, so I mean either way you're going to have to buy the other 2, so I would definitely recommend getting 1 of these as your free option, and then holding off on the aesthetic stuff, unless that is what you're going for, then, you know, get one of those. He also does offer you these two different Magus Vigor kind of arcane blueprints. And this one seems to be the better one. It just makes it so your operator energy recharges faster, while this one is for survivability. Now, besides that, once you do upgrade a little bit more, he will offer new sets of amps. So you can mix and match as far as I know. So if you wanted a prism from here instead of the Rat Black prism, I think you can interchange them. Obviously, I haven't done it myself, but I'm almost certain that you can interchange them, but he does give you an entire new set, so you could make an entire newly upgraded amp if you wanted to, and that continues on until this third tier here, this third and final tier here, the adherent level 1. And then along with each different set, he does give you more and more of these arcane type mods, with Architect, the highest level in instrument, and give you even more powerful mods. So that's the entire reason that you're farming this, so that your amp can get significantly better. You may have noticed in the video, and you may have not, that we were playing with the Chroma, and the Chroma in our group did have the already upgraded amp. So it was shooting, and it looked like an Opticore, because he also had an Opticore, but he was shooting projectiles similar to an Opticore, like a laser rifle out of his amp. And so you can make your amp much stronger and much more like a actual gun, a weapon, instead of a laser beam, and that's why we're doing this, so we can upgrade that. So these are all the different rewards you can get. You can come here, now that you know how to see the vendor and come look at him and how to get all the standing, you can come and grind it for yourself and check out everything that he has to offer for you guys. So this guide was mainly for taking down the Teralyst, of course, but I hope you now fully understand everything from taking down the Teralyst to all the rewards to increasing your standing with the quills. And so that is pretty much the end of the guide here. Sorry if this one was a little bit longer winded, and there was just a lot of information to go over, a lot of new stuff to describe to people and explain, and hopefully no one was confused. If you guys are, throw down in the comments any questions you have. I know a lot of people here are willing to answer them. If they know them, I'm willing to answer them. I read all of the comments, like I said. And so thanks again for sticking around, guys. If you liked the video, obviously you know what to do. And thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys very soon.